Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron, here again with my favorite person in the world talking about agriculture with Lara Sowinski. Lara, how you doing?
Wow. Well, thank you. Likewise, favorite person. I see you're in
Yeah.
a new studio, new digs or something. What do you got going?
Well, yeah. These, we recently moved offices at
Mhm.
Meister, so this is the new studio uh, presentation for now.
Mhm.
It's a work in progress, but we'll be working on it. But yes, you won't you'll be seeing me in a slightly different background when I'm in studio than you've been used to. But
Cool.
again, most of the viewers won't notice because our goal is, of course, to spread information, little entertainment along the way, and that's why we're here again this week.
Great.
So hey, Miss Laura, I wanted to mention, of course, this in the past week or so, I have finally got around. It is that time of year. I sent out our 2024 CropLife 100 surveys to the top 100 ag retailers from last year's survey,
Mhm.
and also added a couple of companies that I've discovered or have reached out to me in the interim asking to get forms. So we have those out, and I actually wanted to say, if you folks could out there, if you have the form sitting in your inbox, I was trying to get them back by the end of August, September 1st. I know that's a Sunday, but I'm sure some folks can get it to me before then, and I've already got about 5 folks that have gotten survey forms back to me, and again, Laura, this time of year, it's always a little sad when I send out the forms because invariably I get
Mhm.
notes back from companies saying that that they've sold the company or the company
Oh,
has since our last survey merged with somebody. And I wanted to give a shout out to one of the companies, longstanding member of the top 100, Stanislaus Farm Supply in Modesto, California. I visited them in the early 2000s, and they sent me a note back with their CropLife 100 form saying that as of May 1st, they're now part of Valley Agronomics, which, again, a very big company in the CropLife 100, in the top 15, I believe, and adding the revenues together, the two companies, I'm sure that'll boost them up even further up the list. But we'll see when I get Valley's form in, hopefully later in the month or in early September, what the numbers look like. But um, I just wanted to say thank you, Stanislaus, for all you've done with us over the years, and we will miss you guys.
mm. Yeah. I agree. It's interesting to compare, year over year, how things change as far as the rankings, and like you said, companies are acquired or unfortunately sometimes go out of business. So I know, as you mentioned, we have received inquiries from companies that are kind of new to us or certainly new to the list potentially. So yeah, um, get those surveys filled out and returned back to Eric.
Yeah, and hey, one other thing I wanted to go over before I kick this to you. Of course, we've been talking a lot about ag tech the last few weeks because we recently, of course, held our Tech Hub Live event in Des Moines, and so ag tech is on top of mind for a lot of folks. But one of the things that goes along with ag technology, of course, is connectivity and communication.
Mhm.
And that usually means internet. And I ran across a story. I was kind of surprised to read a little bit that it's talking about the U.S. Census data from 2022. And it mentioned that for agriculture, for farmers, 22% as of 2022 do not have access to the internet
Mm.
still.
Well,
Yeah, I was surprised it was that high, and not
mhm,
quite, little less than a quarter of the marketplace for farmers is
mhm,
still internet free or unable to access the internet.
mhm,
And then they broke it down by states, and yeah, most of the states that still are lacking in internet access are in the South. And the state of Mississippi actually leads the country,
mm,
maybe not the right word, but has the highest percentage of growers unable to access the internet. In 2017,
mm,
66% of the farmers in Mississippi had access to the internet. And in 2022, that number has gone up, but it's still only 73.3%. So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, I know. I'm surprised that in this day and age, there are folks, unfortunately, who do not have internet access. So,
Mm-hmm.
sorry
Yeah.
to read that.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that is a good story item. I remember, and it probably was last year when we reported on this, efforts by the federal government to fund the broadband across the U.S. and kind of up the numbers across the board. That would be a good follow up story. I'll kind of dig into that a bit and see where that stands.
Yeah, no, that would be good as a follow up.
Hmm.
So, viewers, stay tuned. We'll get back to you on that one. So, hey, I think you said you had a couple of items to share as well. So, I will kick this over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So this is new research. The article itself was by one of my favorites, Jennifer Marston over at AgFunder News. This is recent research by Stratovation Group, along with the Fertilizer Institute, Agricultural Retailers Association, and DCLRS. That's a lobbying group. And it correlates with what we've been finding, as we've had the Tech Hub Live that recently concluded. We had two workshops, drones as well as biologicals in the row crop space. And as we've kind of circled back with the attendees on the biologicals workshop, as well as the presenters, that was Dr. Andrea Arias from Yord Bioscience and Jacob Parnell from Biome Makers. A lot of good feedback. The workshop itself was well received, good content, good impression overall from both attendees as well as the presenters. And so this study from the Stratovation Group finds that, according to their 2022 research, 83% of U.S. row crop producers and farmers were aware of the term biologicals. That awareness of biologicals in 24 jumped to 87%, with awareness on specific subcategories such as biostimulants and biofertilizers grew 14%. So, just under half, 45% of U.S. row crop producers say they currently purchase or use ag biological products, which is up from the 37% in the survey from 2022. Um, a couple comments in this article that Jennifer Marston put together. One of the comments as to why are we seeing the increase, partly what's adding to that is that the traditional crop protection products, the chemicals, that we talk about, they're kind of whether it's dicamba, glyphosate, etc. A lot of challenges to those traditional chemical products. So that's obviously kind of boosting awareness and use of biologicals. Um, but one of the things, and again, this really correlates to what we discovered during the workshop at Tech Hub Live, is that really more education, continued education around the use, the application, best practices, kind of the how, when, and where to get the best performance. So good to see that awareness and use is growing. And I think what we're finding as well, as more data becomes available, more um, again kind to really firm up the best practices so that when people do invest and use it, that the yield and their expectations around what they are looking for as far as performance, they're able to achieve that. So that was good news. Nice to see that the market and what we experienced with the workshop at Tech Hub Live. Um, some nice um, some nice, nice movement around the space that we've kind of been watching for a while. So all good.
Yeah, no, and I know myself. I just was attending a couple of weeks ago a Mosaic event
Mm,
in Illinois where they were talking about their biologicals. Of course, the company is involved in that space with their bioscience group.
indeed.
And it was interesting. The speakers there had said something I had not heard up until now, the fact that, most biologicals are getting lumped with crop protection products,
Mm-hmm,
and,
mm-hmm.
the advisors to the growers are saying, this is a supplement to your crop protection product. But the Mosaic folks pointed out that, biologicals, a lot of them are living organisms. And
Mm-hmm.
if you want a parallel in crop inputs that is a living organism and you're deciding how to use it in your field, it would be seed.
Mm-hmm.
So their suggestion was
Yep.
treat biologicals more like seed as opposed to a traditional crop protection product. So
Right.
like I said, I wrote a story about that. It's in the e-newsletter and online at CropLife.com. So if you want to see what the folks at Mosaic had to say about biologicals, check that out for yourself.
Yeah, actually, and we kind of compared notes this past week as well because I had the great pleasure of visiting with the Mosaic Company earlier this year down in their Tampa, Florida offices, and Matt Salder, who heads up their bioscience division, he was saying that, and I thought that was a really interesting way to look at it, as you mentioned. So, um, yeah, do indeed check out Eric's article in the newsletter on that. That's good stuff. I like it.
Good deal. So, all right. Well, hey, I know it is summer, of course, getting towards the end of summer. I know my son is getting ready to start back at school. I'm sure a lot of folks are getting their kids ready for back to school, much to their annoyance because they like the summertime off.
Or
But
delight.
nonetheless, parents are happy.
Right.
The kids will have some place to go for about 6 to 8 hours a day. But anyhow, one of the other things that takes place, of course, towards the end of August is the annual Midwest Ag Industries Exposition, the Maggie Show in Bloomington, Illinois. And that'll be taking place middle of next week. And I will be there along with the CropLife crew. We will be making the rounds of the fairgrounds in Bloomington and seeing what we can see in terms of new equipment and existing equipment, upgraded equipment, ride and drives, and lots of food. Of course, pork on a stick is always one of my favorites. I usually have about a half dozen of those myself, and I'm sure I'm not alone because they are quite tasty. And again, since it's a pork on a stick, you can walk around and eat it, and it tends not to be very messy. It's a little different than an ice cream cone, which could be melting in the heat. So, but I will be at the Maggie Show. So in next week's video, I will have some highlights from the show along with pictures and hopefully video clips. And of course, we'll be announcing who the Showstopper Award winner was for 2024. So
Yep.
I know
Yep.
there are already companies sending me little tidbits on, hey, our product is this, and come and see it, and we think it should win because of this reason. So I've gotten a half dozen of those. So folks, you can try to bribe the judges, but I think we're going to go on the merit of what the attendees at the show think is the best product in show.
That's great. Yeah, I wish I could join you and our other teammates from CropLife this year, but I do know that you guys have a special tricked out gator. So for those of you in the audience who will be attending the Maggie Show, check out this gator. That's all I have to say. You guys went really above and beyond, so it's pretty cool. Not to mention you get
Yep.
like a nice cold drink. So
I was going to say, we always have cold drinks. Although this year, I know when you were at Maggie with me, we had a heat index, I think, of 105 or
yeah,
110 degrees, and it was incredibly warm. And I was checking the forecast for next week in Bloomington. It looks like it's going to be in the high 70s
wow,
and partly cloudy. So it seems like the
perfect.
heat, humidity will not be a factor. It'll be basically a very nice outdoor event to attend. So if
Oh,
you're
that's
there,
great.
please say hello to us at the event.
That's great. That's great. Can't wait to hear all the good things you
Uh,
see. Cool.
yep. So we'll share those with you viewers next week. So, well, hey, Laura, then we'll end as we always do on the high note. Time for your favorite segment of the show. Time for Fun with Numbers.
All right. I think I'm on a winning streak, right? Don't I have like
I,
two back to
you
back?
did get. I know you got last week's correct. I think you are doing quite well. And again, this one is another one where it's like the category is going to change on you, but the questions are going to be identical. Other than that, so you're going to have a 1 in 3 chance of picking the correct answer. I say that every week, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
right.
But
Oh,
this week, your number, it's a straight number, not a dollar amount, not a percentage, straight number, 53.
okay.
All right, 53. So, Miss Laura, is 53 A, is that the expected bushels per acre mark for corn in 2024? Is it B, the expected bushels per acre mark for soybeans in 2024? Is it C, the expected bushels per acre mark for wheat in 2024? Or is it D, the number of times I've been given a senior's discount at restaurants the past 2 years without asking? And if our videographer is doing his job, then you can see a receipt that I got recently at a breakfast diner, and you can note the percentage off of the total that was there listed as senior discount.
Hey, you just wait to join that AARP group and get all
Oh, they've been sending me mailers for
once you're
like good
40.
2 years, 3 years already. That, the Golden Buckeye card, which is sort of like a little perk you get in the state of Ohio. I've been getting a come on for those. So yeah, I guess I'm looking my age. So.
Oh boy. Well, I know it's not D. What is it? Corn?
You would be a close number to that, though. Let me tell you, I eat out a lot. So
Uh, this one's hard for me. I'm gonna say corn though. A.
no, I'm sorry. No. Corn per acre marks have been well over 200 for years.
Okay.
No, the correct answer is B, soybean. This came from our friends at USDA. They put out a report forecasting the soybean yield for 2024, and they're saying that it looks like it's going to be 53.2 bushels per acre, which is an increase from 52 bushels per acre, which was in their earlier report earlier in the summer. So that with that boost, unfortunately, that did depress the futures prices for soybeans a little bit because the yields are looking a little higher or better than expected. But
Yeah.
still, it's a good number, 53. I remember back when I started in the industry, if folks got 30 bushels per acre for soybean, they were happy. But because of improvements in genetics and other crop field practices, the soybean yields have almost doubled in that amount of time. So
Yeah, you're
53
right.
bushels per acre.
And I should have gotten this. I was just looking at a news item earlier today before we got together here in the studio. USDA is predicting record amounts of both corn and soybean yields. Corn, 9% increase from last year to 227 bushels an acre, and soybeans, a 5% jump to more than 70 bushels
Yeah.
an acre. Wow.
Yeah,
I
no.
wonder
So I mean,
prices.
the numbers are impressive. I mean, again, we've had drought, we've had the extracurricular weather events, hurricanes, other issues, tornadoes in Ohio, and despite all of it, the yields are looking very, very strong for the grower community. And again, hopefully that'll translate to good numbers for the ag retailers, which then they'll put on their forms that I asked for earlier in the video, and they'll send them to me without any delay. So I would
Right.
appreciate that.
Get those surveys in, folks. CropLife
All right.
100.
Yep. So on that note, we will say thank you for joining us, everyone out there. We hope you enjoyed this week's video. On behalf of myself and everyone at the CropLife Media Group, we'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comments section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.